My name's Denise McCabe and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia on the New South Wales Central Coast. And this is my Make-up Monday for today. Today I'm going to try a technique called the Joseph's Coat technique. It's a technique I've wanted to try for a long time and never gotten around to it. I had a play yesterday and this was the card I made using the Butterfly Brilliance stamp set. I've watched a few YouTube tutorials to try and get my head around this technique and to try and get it to work for me. I've had a couple of failures. These two didn't work so well for me because that's not meant to happen. So that's a bit of a disaster. And this one, see, it's not covered properly as well. So it's a bit trial and error. So fingers crossed that I can get this one to work for me while we have a play. So I'll put my phone up into the holder and we can get started. Okay, so I had a little play again. So these were the two that I wasn't happy with because that shouldn't happen. And I had another little play again with the Forever Ferns stamp set, which is one of my favourites, my all-time favourites. And this seemed to work a bit better. So I'm going to give it another try and take out the Rich Razzleberry and put Pear Pizzazz in instead. So I've used Daffodil Delight, Gorgeous Grape and Rich Razzleberry on this one. But I'm going to try Pear Pizzazz instead of the Rich Razzleberry because I think the Rich Razzleberry is a little bit dark when you put the black ink over the top. So let's see how we go. If not, this one's okay and I can use this for my card. Okay, so I hope. It's always a bit challenging trying a technique. Anyway, let's have a go. So I'll make sure this is in view. Yes, all in view. Okay, so there's my sample with the ferns and there's my sample with the butterflies. This is my host code for September. Okay, so what we're going to do is get the blending brushes and put some colour onto this white piece of cardstock. So my yellows. So this is the Daffodil Delight. So you just blend it randomly over the piece of cardstock, anywhere you like. This technique you do get a little bit inky, not too badly though. It doesn't matter if it's uneven colour, it's all good. So I'll put that there. I will do the Gorgeous Grape one now. I'll just get my cleaning cloth because that's probably got much razzleberry on it. It has. I'll just clean that off a little bit. There we go. So I'll just come onto the edge like that. So you can go back and add more colour if you want. Like I think that's a bit too light, so I'll just put a bit more pressure on my brush and get a bit more colour there. I'll leave that there. And I'm going to do Pear Pizzazz. So I'll get my green brush. Is that green? And that's blues. Green. Okay. So, well, after all, we are using a fern stamp set, so I figured the green might be a better combination. I'll go right across here and I might put some more Gorgeous Grape down in this bottom corner. Just turn it round. beautiful day here on the Central Coast. It's a bit windy, but other than that, it's a really lovely day. And I think we're entering week 11 of lockdown. Oh, dearie me. I might just get, oh look, I've put my fingers there, not to worry. I'll get my green and come back and go a bit heavy with the green. That's not going to matter, and I'll show you why in a minute. There we go. Now, even though these ink pads aren't really that wet, I'm going to hit it with my heat tool just to dry it off completely. Otherwise, you can always leave it overnight to dry. So, get my embossing buddy. Most people who've been stamping a long time still would have an embossing buddy. Stampin' Up doesn't sell one anymore, but it's always a good idea when you're going to use Versamark ink to put your embossing powder buddy over your cardstock. So on the block E, I've just put all the Ferns from the Forever Ferns stamp set onto it, and I'm going to ink it up with Versamark. You could use your Stamparatus if you wanted to. And I'm just going to place it down on the cardstock, pressing down quite firmly, and pull that off. And then I'm going to ink it up again. And just have a look where I've, it's a bit hard with Versamark because it's clear ink, but I can just see what I've done. And I'm going to turn it around, the stamp around, and press down again. There we go. Now I'm going to bring in my embossing powder. And I'm just going to put it all out. I like my embossing powder in a container, a larger container than the jars that Stampin' Up sell, because I don't want to get into too much of a mess. So just tap that off a bit more. There we go. Put that back on. Now you might, I'll just stand up. Can you see which way? This way. You can see I've got the clear embossing powder. It's stuck to the Versamark ink, and now I'm going to heat emboss that with my heat tool. Okay, so as I just get a baby wipe and just wipe off the embossing powder that might have gone everywhere. And like my inky fingers, I mean. Okay, so the next bit is a bit scary. Well, that's what I think. So what you do is you get your black memento. So I've recently re-inked my black memento, but you get your black memento and you just scrape it down like you all over. And you just wipe it all over the cardstock. There we go. And then you get a bit of paper towel. And this is a bit like Emboss Resist. Now see, it's done it there again, and I don't know why. Maybe my ink wasn't dry enough. See, I might have to go back to this one. Anyway, it still looks good. This is a bit of a hotness down in this corner. So it's one of those techniques that no two cards will ever look the same. It's one of the, yeah, it's just sort of a bit tricky. But I could get away with this by cutting that down like that, which I think I probably will end up using this one. So it's a bit scary when you wipe the black memento everywhere. Hey, it comes up with a bit of a wow factor though. Let's see if there's any more coming off that. No, I think we've pretty much got, so it's all rubbed in. But yeah, that's what happened with these ones, and I don't know why. Anyway, I will end up finishing off my card. I'll get rid of that. I'll finish off my card onto Gorgeous Grape. So I shall get my bone folder. And I'm going to use this one because I'm not happy with this one. I will make another card with this one, but I will trim it down so that I don't have that patch in it. So I shall, let me see what I want to do with that. I might put some of this around it. So before I attach it to the card. So I'll just there and there. This is in the mini catalogue, this ribbon. It's beautiful ribbon. Didn't need quite so much. And is that straight? Probably not. Nope. I'll just pick that up and move it up a little bit. It's probably gone too far the other way. There we go. And I'll put a bow on that. So dimensionals. So it's a bit trial and error as to what colours you use, as to how well the technique turns out from what I'm gathering. So maybe the darker colour was a better colour to use. In hindsight. Hindsight, it's a wonderful thing. So I shall do a bow with this ribbon. As I said, you do get pretty inky trying to get this technique sorted, and I can't get my bow sorted. There we go. I'll get my glue dots and put that in the middle, I think, and trying to find my take a picture. Here it is. Wasn't even in the container I was looking in. And I just put that under here just to secure the bow. So that's that. And I've got a little bit of, I'll put that away. I might use the hello out of the stamp set. I wonder if I've got anything a bit smaller. That's probably all right. Helps if it stays on the block. And I'll get the gorgeous grape. I'll try it on both pieces and see which one I like the best. Oh, got a shadow. Turned over. I think I like the wider one better. So, close that up. Paper snips. I'm going to cut it about there. Trim that back a bit. And flag it. There we go. Now, I must have cut this when my paper trimmer was needing new blades, so I'm just going to do that. And I'm just going to get my purple brush and just go around the edges just to take the starkness of the white off. And I might pop that up on dimensionals too. So I'll pop that there. And I don't think it needs any bling. I think the bow's blingy enough. So I'll finish the card off with a piece of cardstock for inside. And move that over. And I might just grab one of these ferns. This one. And rich raspberry. And once again, I think my blade was needing to be replaced when I did that. Whoops. And get my green glue. There we go. There we go. So I think the key could be the darker colours, because it didn't work quite so well there for me. So I think darker colours is the key to this technique. So there's two cards using the Joseph Coat technique. Hope you've enjoyed that, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.